Nobody warned Marcus, not about the night his girl left without a goodbye note, not about the morning he checked his account and saw $11 staring back at him like a verdict, not about the business he poured 3 years into, 3 years that folded in a single phone call. Nobody warned him. But here's what nobody tells you about moments like these ones, the moments that crack you open and hollow you out. They're not the worst thing that ever happened to you. They're the first time life actually started teaching you something real. Stay with me, because by the end of this video, you're going to see these 3 experiences completely differently. And if you're in the middle of one right now, this might be the most important thing you watch all year. There are 2 kinds of people watching this right now. The first kind has been through it. They've felt the gut punch of heartbreak. They've sat in silence with empty pockets, wondering how it got this bad. They've had something they built fall apart in front of them and had to figure out who they are on the other side of that. The second kind is in it right now, and they're looking for a reason to keep going. This video is for both of you, because I want to make a case, a real one, backed by human experience, that heartbreaks, empty pockets, and failures are not obstacles to the life you want. They are the curriculum, and most people fail the class, not because it's too hard, but because they never figured out what was being taught. So let's change that today. Let's start with the one nobody wants to talk about like adults. Heartbreak. And I'm not just talking about romantic heartbreak, though we'll go there. I mean any moment where something or someone you built your hope around walked away. A friendship, a marriage, a family relationship, a version of yourself you thought you'd always be. Here's what most people do with heartbreak. They rush through it. They download dating apps 2 weeks in. They stay busy on purpose. They call it moving on. But what they're actually doing is skipping the class, and life has a way of re-enrolling you. So what is heartbreak actually trying to teach you? Lesson 1. You had illusions about love, and now you don't. Think about it honestly. Before the relationship ended, what did you believe? That if you just loved someone hard enough, they'd stay? That effort equals outcome in relationships? That being a good partner meant you were entitled to a good return? Heartbreak smashes all of that, not to be cruel, but because those beliefs were keeping you from something more real. Love isn't possession. It's not certainty. It's not a transaction where loyalty guarantees loyalty back. It is 2 people choosing each other freely every single day. And sometimes they stop choosing you. That's the truth that hurts. But it's an honest truth, and honest truths are where emotional maturity begins. Lesson 2. Pain reveals what comfort conceals. Here's something wild. The relationship you're grieving right now, there were signs. There were moments where something felt off. Compromises you made that chipped away at you slowly. Parts of yourself you quietly folded up and stored away just to keep the peace. You saw it. You just didn't want to. Heartbreak forces you to look back with clear eyes. And here's where it gets deep. Sometimes the real loss wasn't the person. The real loss was yourself. The dreams you paused, the boundaries you abandoned, the identity you traded for comfort. The relationship didn't just end. It revealed how far you drifted from who you actually are. That's the gift buried in the pain. Lesson 3. Endurance is built in the nights you survived alone. Anyone who's been through a real heartbreak knows the nights are the hardest part. Your brain replays everything on a loop. You question your worth, your judgment, your future. You wonder if you'll ever feel normal again. But you do. Not because someone rescued you, because you sat in the fire long enough to stop burning. That's not therapy language. That's physics. You built emotional resilience by surviving something you didn't think you could survive. And that capacity to carry pain without collapsing is one of the rarest strengths a human being can have. Nothing gives it to you except going through it. Lesson 4. Heartbreak rebuilds your identity. When someone leaves your life, especially someone you centered yourself around, you meet a version of yourself you may not have seen in years. The one who existed before the relationship defined you. And in that meeting, something unexpected happens. Old dreams resurface. Old passions come back. You remember who you were before you needed their approval to feel like enough. That's not heartbreak destroying you. That's heartbreak returning you to yourself. Now let's talk about the one that hits different. Empty pockets. Because emotional pain is one thing. But financial struggle doesn't just hurt inside your chest. It affects every single decision you make, the food you eat, the opportunities you can't access, the way people look at you, the way you look at yourself. Being broke exposes you in a way nothing else does. And here's why that matters. Lesson 1. Money doesn't create discipline. It amplifies the habits you already have. Every person who's ever said, "I'd manage money better if I made more," I want you to sit with that statement for a second, because it's a lie we tell ourselves. More money given to undisciplined habits doesn't create stability. It creates bigger problems. History is full of lottery winners who were broke within 5 years. Athletes making $30 million who filed for bankruptcy by 40. The habits were already there. The money just removed the ceiling. Broke seasons force a reckoning. Do you plan ahead or react? Do you spend to feel better or to build something? Do you blame your circumstances or examine your behaviors? You cannot hide from those answers when there's nothing in the account. The truth shows up in your behavior every single day. Lesson 2. Scarcity is the mother of creativity. When you have money, you buy solutions. When you don't, you become one. I've talked to a lot of people who built real things, real businesses, real legacies, and a consistent pattern shows up in their stories. Their best ideas came from their hardest seasons. Not because struggle is romantic, but because when you can't buy your way out of a problem, your brain starts working at a different level. You become resourceful, inventive. You figure out how to make $50 do what $500 used to. You learn to spot opportunity in spaces other people overlook. You build skills because you have no other currency. Struggle sharpens a mind that comfort keeps soft. Lesson 3. Financial pain creates a hunger that motivation videos can't manufacture. There is a specific moment, and if you've been there, you know exactly what I'm talking about, where you get tired of your own situation, not just frustrated, tired, done, where you look at your life and say, "I refuse to feel this helpless again." That's not desperation, that's ignition. When that moment hits and you redirect it, not into panic, but into a plan, your entire relationship with time changes. You stop wasting mornings, you stop tolerating mediocrity in yourself, you become someone who builds instead of waits. That hunger is a resource. Empty pockets gave it to you, and no amount of comfort could have. Lesson 4. Scarcity teaches you the real value of everything. When money flows easily, you spend without thinking. When it's gone, every dollar carries weight. You learn to respect the process of earning. You learn patience. You learn the difference between what you want right now and what you actually need. You develop a relationship with money that's based on reality, not fantasy or ego. And when abundance comes back, and it does for the people who learn these lessons, you handle it differently because you know what its absence felt like. That appreciation doesn't disappear. It becomes your discipline. And now, the big one. Failure, the teacher everyone fears, the one people spend their entire lives designing their choices around avoiding. And because of that, it's the one that ends up controlling most people's lives. Let me reframe this completely. Failure is not the opposite of success. Failure is the curriculum of success. Here's what success actually hides from you: your weaknesses. When things work out, you never find out what would have broken under pressure. You never discover the blind spots in your thinking. You never face the gap between where you are and where you actually need to be. Failure exposes all of it, not to punish you, to prepare you. Lesson 1. Failure gives you information that safety never could. When something doesn't work, you get data. Real, unfiltered, honest data about your skills, your planning, your timing, your assumptions. The business that failed wasn't necessarily a bad idea. Maybe the approach was wrong. The goal you missed wasn't proof you don't belong. Maybe the strategy needed to change. Most people take failure personally. The ones who win take it practically. They ask, What did this teach me? What needs to change? What am I missing? That single shift from I failed to I got information is the difference between someone who quits and someone who eventually wins. Lesson 2. Failure destroys perfectionism, which is the real enemy. Perfectionism is just fear wearing a productive costume. People who overthink, overplan, delay every decision and call it preparation, they're not being smart. They're being safe. And safe doesn't build anything worth having. But the moment you fail and survive it, the game changes because you realize the world didn't end. You're still here. You didn't lose your value. You didn't lose your potential. You just lost a version of your plan that wasn't good enough yet. That realization is freedom. It frees you to try again faster, experiment more boldly, take calculated risks without needing everything to be perfect first. Failure makes you action-oriented, and action, imperfect, consistent action, is what actually builds things. Lesson 3. Failure is a mirror for your mindset. After a setback, listen closely to your own internal voice, because what you say to yourself in that moment reveals everything about where you are mentally. Do you blame others? Do you spiral into shame? Or do you sit with the discomfort, extract the lesson, and ask, what's my next move? Failure doesn't test your abilities as much as it tests your perspective. And perspective, how you interpret what happens to you, is the single most important variable in determining where you end up. Lesson 4. Failure makes success feel earned. When you finally win after a series of setbacks, and you will, it doesn't just feel good. It feels like something. It feels like proof. You can look back and trace the exact path. The failure that taught you execution, the setback that exposed a weak mindset, the loss that forced you to rebuild with better materials. Success without struggle is just luck, and luck doesn't compound. Success built on failure is foundation, and foundation lasts. Now here's where it gets real, because these 3 teachers don't usually show up one at a time. They show up together, sometimes in the same season, sometimes in the same week. Heartbreak strips away the illusions you have about love and worth. Empty pockets strip away the illusions you have about security and discipline. Failure strips away the illusions you have about your readiness and your ego. And when all 3 hit at once, what's left? You, the real version. Not the one shaped by validation, by titles, by how other people see you, the one shaped by truth. The version that was always there underneath the comfortable life you built around it. And that version, the one that had to be uncovered by pain, is capable of building something that the comfortable version never could have. But only if you let these seasons teach you instead of just endure them. So what do you actually do with this? 3 things. Write these down. 1. Stop running from discomfort. Pain is a messenger. It points to something that needs attention. Every time you numb it, distract yourself from it, or rush past it, you delay the lesson. Face it. Sit with it long enough to understand what it's pointing to. 2. Separate your identity from your experience. You are not your heartbreak. You are not your bank account. You are not your failures. You are how you respond to them. That response, repeated, refined, adjusted, is who you are becoming. And becoming is the only real work there is. 3. Reframe the season you're in right now. If you're going through hardship, and I know some of you are, stop calling it punishment. Call it preparation. Because that's what it actually is. Life is not trying to break you. It is trying to build you into someone capable of handling what you've been asking for. The lessons are in the struggle, and the struggle is not permanent. Marcus, the man I told you about at the beginning, he went through all 3. The breakup, the $11, the failed business, and 2 years later, he was different. Not louder, not richer, not untouched, but steadier, clearer, less afraid of things falling apart. Because he'd learned that falling apart was just the beginning of rebuilding. He didn't become stronger despite those 3 teachers. He became stronger because of them, and you will too. If you're in the middle of one of these seasons right now, breathe. Not because it gets easier immediately, but because it gets meaningful. And meaningful is something easy never gives you. Keep moving, keep learning, keep becoming. Drop a comment below. Which of these 3 teachers has shaped you the most? And if this hit different, share it with someone who needs it. You might not know who that is, but you probably do.